It's been more than 6 months since my last EDC video. Some things have changed. For example, I stopped wearing a fitness tracker ring. It's just bulky and I wasn't really using the data that it collects. I slimmed down my wallet even more. I'm wearing a different watch and I've upgraded my key setup. Plus, this thing. So let's get into it. Real quick, huge thank you to Tailor Store for sponsoring this video. I've been a fan of their custom shirts like this one for many years now, and later in the video, I'll show you a full Tailor Store outfit, including made-to-measure chinos. First, let's talk about arguably the most important part of anybody's everyday carry, your phone. This is one thing that hasn't changed. I'm still using the iPhone 13 mini. Small phones are simply better than big phones, and that's a hill that I'm willing to die on. This phone is still fast, it has plenty of storage, it can run any app, and the camera is more than good enough for my needs. It shoots at 4K 60 frames per second, it can do high quality slow-mo and time-lapse and portrait mode. You know, what more do you really need? I would say the one drawback is battery life. On a normal day where I'm just like going to work or hanging out at home, maybe going to the gym, it's not an issue because I use Apple CarPlay, so when I plug my phone in the car, it charges. I don't think the battery ever dips below 15% on an average day. But if I'm traveling and I don't have access to chargers throughout the day, and I'm using power-hungry apps like Google Maps and Audible pretty much all day, this thing will die by late afternoon. To mitigate that, I just carry this MagSafe wireless charging pack. It snaps to the back of the phone. It's still low profile enough that I can keep it in my pocket. I had been using this Horween leather case from Nomad Goods for the last few years. It's actually patinaed really nicely. But lately, I've just been going no case, rolling the dice. You know, this phone is getting up there in years. I feel like the case is maybe overkill. It's like when you see a really old person that never leaves their house because they don't want to get hurt. It's like, what are you trying to preserve? You don't have that much time left. Get out there. I am using this phone grip. This is the Snap 4 Luxe from a brand called Snap. Makes it a little bit easier to hold your phone and to type with one hand. You can also use it as a stand to stand your phone up in portrait or landscape mode. It sticks right to the back of the iPhone. It centers itself perfectly, no adhesive needed. You can still use a wireless charger with this grip on your phone. It actually works with the case too. I think it's a practical, relatively affordable upgrade to your phone. You can still buy these iPhone 13 minis. They're actually very cheap compared to the latest flagship models. And when the battery does degrade to the point where it's no longer practical, I'll probably just replace it. Of course, I'll link to the charger, the case, and the grip down below in the description. Okay, before we move on, I want to tell you about this shirt. It is custom made by Tailor Store, who partnered with me to bring you today's video. I got my first Tailor Store shirt, which was a custom flannel button-up way back in 2017. Simpler times. Compared to the many made-to-measure brands that I had reviewed at that point, Tailor Store was a clear standout as one of the best. Fast forward to today, they still sell custom dress shirts and casual button-downs, but also pants, t-shirts, and even outerwear. This whole outfit you're looking at is from Tailor Store. The t-shirt fits perfectly and feels great. I'm 5'6", so most tees are too long for me to wear untucked, but this one hits just right. The khaki chinos, which are a staple in any man's wardrobe in my opinion, have a tailored but still comfortable silhouette. The fabric is 98% cotton and 2% elastane blended in to create a lightweight, matte finish twill. Note that I got these a little bit longer on purpose because I like the cuffed look, but you can choose the exact inseam that you need. The button down is a 100% cotton Oxford in a pistachio, which is like a light green, and I think it's a nice alternative to light blue. Sleeves are almost always too long for me off the rack, but on this shirt, they fit perfectly. The left cuff is even a little bit wider to accommodate my wristwatch. Very cool little detail. The overshirt, or shacket if you will, is 100% linen. It's perfect for the warm climate where I live. It's unlined, but the fabric is heavier than what you'd expect from linen, so it drapes really nicely. This navy shacket looks good over the white t-shirt. It also looks good over the Oxford. In fact, all of these pieces are interchangeable, which makes it really easy to put together a nice outfit. Tailor Store has a free remake guarantee. They also have a really cool custom design tool that lets you choose every little detail of your clothes, from the fabric to the collar style. It's really fun to play around with. The clothes ship shockingly fast, and the prices are refreshingly affordable since Tailor Store owns their own factory. For 20% off your first order, go to tailorstore.com/BrockMcGough, no code needed. And there's no limit to what you order, so you can get a whole suit if you want. Links down in the description. Thank you again to Tailor Store for supporting the channel. Okay, back to the video. AirPods Pro Gen 2. I grabbed these at a pretty steep discount, at least for Apple, last year on Cyber Monday. I had already owned the first generation AirPods Pro for a couple of years and really loved them, but after getting these, those old ones were quickly relegated to backup duty. The main differences between the two generations are, number one, physical volume controls. Gen 2 has these little haptic panels on each earbud, and they let you slide your finger up or down to control the volume. It's much easier and less awkward than asking Siri to turn the volume up or down for you. And the second big difference is adaptive mode. This is basically just like a better version of transparency mode. It listens to your environment and automatically adjusts how much noise is getting through to your ears. I pretty much keep these on adaptive mode all the time unless I'm in a situation where I really want complete transparency or I need noise cancellation, like if I'm on an airplane. They have wireless charging, the battery life is solid, the case is sturdy, and of course they work really well with other Apple products. I really think that these are the best product that Apple has come out with in years. And with AI getting better every day, I could imagine a world where we look at our phones less and we use our voice to interact with apps in the internet via earbuds. Kind of like the movie Her, but less dystopian. Hopefully. Anyway, big fan of wireless earbuds, and if you're in the Apple ecosystem, I think that these are worth the money. Fort Belvedere card holder. Full disclosure, Raphael, who is the founder of Gentleman's Gazette and its house brand Fort Belvedere, is a good friend of mine. And he generously gifted me a few samples, so yes, I'm biased. But also, having known Raphael for many years now, I can tell you that the man is a purist. He's the real deal. Yes, he's running a business, but he would never release a product that wasn't best in class. I mean, he's obsessed with quality. Him and his team are always traveling all around Europe trying to find the best factories and craftsmen to make whatever new thing they're working on. You know, they're really not competing with other direct-to-consumer brands. They're competing with like Hermes and Louis Vuitton. And this results in some incredibly luxurious and durable accessories like this ultra-slim taupe card holder. It's made from Togo leather, pebbled calfskin, tanned and prepped in Germany. It has folded edges even inside each card slot, which is something you don't see very often because it requires more time and more leather. Usually edges are just cut and either burnished or painted. The inside of each slot and the inside of the middle of the wallet is lined with a smooth viscose, which helps your card slide in and out easily. It makes the whole wallet a bit slimmer. But materials and craftsmanship aside, it's just a very practical little wallet. One side is oriented vertically, the other side horizontally. There's a slot in the middle for folded bills. It has these little thumb cutouts that let you push a card out with one hand. It has RFID blocking throughout. And I love this unique taupe color, especially in this pebbled Togo leather. This wallet's been my daily driver for a few months now. I'm really enjoying it. Link in a pinned comment. Let's talk watches. This is the Baltic MR Roulette. I have a real soft spot for 36mm watches. They're just so wearable, especially on my 6.25-inch wrist. This one is well proportioned with a 44mm lug to lug. The case is impressively slim. It's under 10mm, even with the high domed Hesselite crystal. It feels just right on my somewhat smaller wrist. The ultra thin profile is thanks to the micro rotor movement. It's an automatic movement that gives you a 42-hour power reserve. The micro rotor sits within the movement itself, and that's how Baltic manages to keep the case so slim compared to a traditional automatic. You can admire this unique automatic movement if you flip the watch over, because it has an exhibition case back. Paired with a Saffiano calf leather strap, this watch feels light and secure. It doesn't slide around on my wrist. It doesn't fall toward the 12 o'clock side. But the best part about this watch is the dial. It's this warm, bronzy salmon roulette dial. The subtle levels, the interplay of textures, that off-center sub-dial, those polished Dauphine hands, every little detail draws you in. Honestly, it looks way more expensive than it is. That said, at just under $600, it's not a budget piece, and it's not flawless. The movement and some other components are sourced from China. The crown is unsigned. It only has 3 ATM. Still, if you're after a unique, kind of striking, somewhat dressy, everyday watch that's good for smaller wrists, this one is worth your consideration. Plus, with so many dial variations and strap choices, you can probably find something that is unique and that you really like. Baltic is a French micro brand, and I've noticed that they just have garnered a lot of respect from the watch community. And after wearing this watch for a while, I kind of get it. I'll link to it below in the description. So on my other wrist, I wear this bracelet from John Hardy. It's a 4mm box chain made from sterling silver. It has a pusher clasp. I prefer this to the claw style clasp because this one never gets caught on anything. 4mm is a really good width for me. It's a good weight. It's not like super dainty, but it's also not overly chunky. I wear this every day day. It goes with any outfit, any watch. It's just really smooth. I get a lot of compliments on it, actually. I just really like a plain silver metal chain bracelet because it's just so wearable. I think if you're trying to get into jewelry, a silver chain bracelet is a really good way to go. Very easy to pull off. Again, links below. Pocket magnifying glass. You ever come across something fascinating like a little bug on the ground and you want to take a closer look, but it's just so tiny? I know the feeling. It's frustrating. That's why I always carry this handy flip-out magnifying glass. Sure, you could take your normal loupe with you when you leave the house, but I find that most traditional hand lenses are just too bulky for everyday carry. This portable version lacks a handle, which means it can fit easily inside any pocket. You won't even know it's there. And with roughly 2x magnification, this little eyeglass lets you explore your curiosity on the go. Never leave home without it, and you'll never leave a stone unturned. I carry this Contigo 24-ounce water bottle with me every day. It's pretty much always nearby, in the bathroom, on my desk, in the car, in my laptop bag. It's the Cortland 2.0. It's just $15, which is less than half the price of a Hydro Flask or Stanley. It has an auto seal lid, carrying handle. The lid even locks for travel. I think 24 ounces is the perfect size. This is made from Triton plastic, which, according to my research, is a medical grade BPA-free type of plastic. I actually prefer this to metal or glass because it's light and it's quiet. It won't dent, it won't break. Also, hot take, the whole microplastics paranoia, totally overblown. The vast majority of people have way bigger health concerns to worry about. Unless you're microwaving your water bottle, you really don't have to worry about it being made from plastic. I'm not saying you should buy dirt cheap Tupperware from Temu and use it to heat up your frozen meals. That's a bit reckless. But all plastic is not bad, and according to all the data that we have so far, this isn't something you should be stressing about all the time. Anyway, they also make a metal version of this if you want it. I will link to both below in the description. Key setup. This is my least favorite part of everyday carry. We're a 2-car household. Sometimes I'll swap cars with my mother-in-law, like if she's taking the kids for a while. So in any given day, I might have 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 fobs. I also have my house key, my office key, the office gate key, the mailbox, the bathroom. So it's just a lot, but I can't really leave any of it behind. You know, I can't believe we can send people to space. We can do heart transplants. We got AI writing software for us, but still, we're carrying around these primitive metal keys and bulky plastic fobs that barely even do anything. They clog up our pockets and ruin our streamlined fits. I dream of a future where every door automatically unlocks as I approach and my car's cabin never goes above 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Until then, I'm using this sort of modular setup. It starts with a titanium key clip thing from a brand called Key Unity that you can find on Amazon. I'll link to it in the description, of course. I like this because it's sort of a carabiner and a pocket clip in one. You can use it as a regular carabiner and attach it to your belt loop. Or if you're not wearing a belt, which is often the case for me, you can use the clip side to attach to your waistband. You can also clip it inside your pocket if you don't want your keys hanging out exposed. Since I'm usually wearing casual shorts during the summer, like the kinds with elastic waistbands and drawstrings, no belt, this is perfect. So I have my main car fob attached with a small key ring. Super easy to add another fob if I need it, or if I need to let somebody borrow my car. I could attach other stuff like a small knife, although I usually don't carry a knife these days. I just find that I don't need it often enough to warrant the extra bulk. My actual keys, 5 metal keys, are on this titanium D-ring, which is also from the same brand, Key Unity. And instead of attaching it directly to the key clip, I'm using this little magnet connect key ring. So this has a 360 swivel, and I like it more than similar options from other brands because it has these little quick release buttons that you have to squeeze, but then it clips back on automatically. So there's no way that your keys are accidentally going to fall off. You have to squeeze the buttons to disconnect. So this means when I need to unlock a door, I can just pull my keys off, unlock the door, and then snap them back on. I can do this quickly with one hand. Considering how many keys and fobs I have to carry, this is the most practical setup that I've come up with so far. So if you're like me and you get kind of annoyed with your key setup, I recommend trying these various types of carabiners and clips and different kinds of key rings because you might be able to just tweak your setup a little bit to make it a little more usable. And yeah, I know I'm overthinking this. That's the whole point of this channel. I overthink these things so you don't have to. Speaking of which, let's talk about what I removed. I know a lot of EDC videos are about adding cool new gadgets to your loadout. For me, tweaking my everyday carry is more like sculpting than painting. Removing stuff is just as important as adding new stuff, maybe even more important. So when I do change something, it's usually a swap, like, upgrading the wallet. Or often I'm trying to pare down, like the fitness tracker ring. I used to wear this every day, but I stopped. After collecting a few months of data and trying to mine insights from it, I realized that I wasn't really learning anything useful. Like it would tell me if I didn't sleep well, but yeah, I kind of already knew that. And also if I didn't sleep well, well, it wasn't really going to change anything. Like, I still had to take care of my kids, go to work. If I had jujitsu on the calendar, I'm still going to go, even if I'm feeling a bit tired. So I like the idea of tracking this health data, but in reality, it wasn't really worth it. Maybe that'll change in the future. I also got rid of a bunch of cards that I rarely use, like my business debit card. I buy everything with the business credit card, so why carry the debit card? I did add everything to my Apple Wallet just in case. I even got a digital version of my driver's license, which you can get in some states now. I still carry my driver's license just because the digital ID is still sort of a new technology, and some places don't know how to accept it. I got rid of my library card because I can just use the Libby app or give the librarian my phone number when I'm checking out books. I got rid of my gym tag because there's an app that you can use to get into the gym. So my wallet and my keys are pared down as much as possible, which feels nice. Of course, I'll keep tweaking this stuff and exploring different options and different brands. And I would love to hear from you. What's working for you these days with your everyday carry? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you again to Taylor Store for supporting the channel by sponsoring this video. Definitely go check them out. Use that link below for a 20% discount. Thank you as always for watching, and until next time.